Uganda. Whoa, say it again. Masie Butia. Whoa, Zambia. Why? Waiseni. Oh, brilliant. And I know we had Colombia here. It was in Spanish, I suppose. Buenos dias. Who else is from? India. Supermart. I was waiting for someone to stand up and say good morning. But anyway, welcome to our country, welcome to Zimbabwe, welcome to Victoria Falls. Now, before we get into our program, one of the things that's really critical for us is your safety. And also just to let you know what's happening around. So what I have done is we've organized the hotel GM and together with his crew to come up here, just have a quick chat, because as you know, safety is important. If anything happens, where do you go and so forth. So please join me in giving a big, big, big welcome to the crew from Elephant Hills Hotel, one of the best crews. Please, big round of applause. Oh, by the way, you have to keep clapping until they get up here. Otherwise, you know, it's a long walk. Big crew, isn't it? There you go. Right, do you want to stand that way? It's good. Watch out, watch out. Right, here you go. I think that's probably better. Why don't you stand over there? 1, 2. Stand over there and have a chat.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning once again, everyone, and a warm welcome to our beautiful resort. I am Eunice Zemba, your meetings and events manager, responsible for looking after you whilst you conference with us. I would like to allow our departmental representatives to introduce themselves, and they will take you through their responsibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Eunice. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for choosing Elephant Hills. I'll start with introduce myself. My name is Naomi Chisango. I'm the executive sous chef. I'm on the food department. My duty is to make sure everyone is well fed with the right food and on the right time. Thank you.
A wonderful morning to you all. My name is Posisi Wenyati, the facilities management trainee. My duty is to make sure that everything around the hotel is functioning very well and you are all comfortable. Enjoy your stay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Elephant Hills, and thank you for choosing Elephant Hills. My name is Krista Pangwenya. I'm the housekeeper. I'm responsible for the cleanliness of rooms as well as the public areas. So when you exit the room, to your immediate left, there are the gents, and then to your immediate right, there are the ladies. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our regular guests and to those who are visiting us for the first time. We say welcome home.
Thank you.
My name is Ellen Mutungwe from the Food and Beverage Department. Together with the chef, our responsibility is to make sure that you are well fed, and please visit our bar for the Zambezi beer, the best beer in the world.
Welcome to Elephant Hills. My name is Emma Kasu. I'm the Assistant Facilities Manager. I'm going to take you through safety, fire, and security. As you know, our hotel is in a national park. Please don't play around with wild animals or give them food. Be careful. And we have a 24-hour security around here, and our premises are protected by an electric fence. Here in the hotel, we have exit doors. Even here in the conference, we have three exit doors. One is there, the other one is there, the other one is behind here. In case of emergency, please just use those doors. Don't use your elevators in case of fire or anything. We have fire team here at the premises. In case of a fire, they will escort you to the emergency assembly points. We have 2 assembly points at the front gate, at the guest entrance, and behind the hotel at the pool area. We will escort you. Don't panic if anything happens. We have a top-notch fire detecting system. We have fire detectors at the hotel. We have smoke detectors, monitors. So in case of fire, you are very safe. Enjoy your stay at Elephant Hills. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to you all once again. My name is Nancy Shoko, and I'm here representing the Reservations Department. I'm the Reservations Manager. My responsibility is to oversee all booking operations here at the hotel and to ensure that our guests get a prompt and seamless service from the first time that they inquire. I work closely with the functions and front office departments, and I know you're here for a meeting, but should you decide to love our property to an extent of wanting to coming back with your family, I'm the right person to say.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Hazel Sibanda, representing the Finance Department. I'm the Finance Management Trainee, responsible for all your payments and the invoices as well. Thank you. Have a great stay here at Elephant Hills.
Good morning. My name is Bliss Kaunda. I'm the front office management trainee. I believe some of you we met yesterday, and we'll probably be meeting when you're checking out. So I just want to say welcome to Elephant Hills, and I hope we treat you well.
Brilliant. Thank you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, please a big round of applause. The staff at Elephant Hills Hotel who are here to look after you when they can. Are we all good? Be careful of the stairs, ladies. Right, those of you with flat shoes, don't worry. Okay. Right, there we go. Are you all right? Yeah, I like you. You're the cook. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the major nitty-gritties of the morning, just a very quick thing. I understand some of you may have bought Econet lines, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they apparently are not connecting, but 2 Econet representatives are coming here very shortly, and you'll be able to find them at the hospitality desk to sort that out. Right, let's get into our program. That was great. You can see all the facilities available here at Elephant Hills. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here at a moment when agriculture, data regulation, and digital infrastructure are all accelerating, but not always in the same direction. Across the sector, digital systems are expanding. Sorry, let's get the microphones working. Yeah, perfect. Across the sector, digital systems are expanding. Compliance pressures are intensifying. Investments in data and infrastructure are increasing, and yet one question remains stubbornly unresolved. Are these systems actually improving decisions at farm level? The Agile Data and Digital Public Infrastructure Summit exists to explore that very question, not theoretically but practically. Over the next 4 days, this will not be a conference in the traditional sense. It is a working convening. You will not only listen, you will test ideas. You will not only align, you will challenge assumptions. And we will not leave here with abstract principles, but with clearer priorities and next steps. We bring together farmers' voices, policymakers, technologists, researchers, funders, and private sector leaders for one reason: to examine how agile, farmer-centered learning connects with interoperable infrastructure and what becomes possible when they're intentionally designed together. To set the scene and articulate why this moment matters now, I'm pleased to invite the Committee on Sustainability Assessment, COSA, and GIZ to frame the summit and outline the shared challenge ahead. I pose this question: if we agree that systems must learn and must connect, the real question now is, what does that require from each of us in practice? Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and join me in welcoming representatives from COSA, Emily, and also representative from GIZ, Carla.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you all. I've been the one emailing you all, but so glad to be here, happy to be here. This is my first time in Zimbabwe, first time on this continent, and I just want to say I'm blown away by the people, by the landscape. It's just beautiful. I'm so glad to be here. So It's truly a pleasure to see a global community come together here. As Andy mentioned, we have policymakers, researchers, digital system builders, we have researchers, and even farmers here today. It's great to see all of you come together around this shared interest that data and digital systems can better support agriculture and the farmers, the people at the center of it. I want to thank you for being here, for sharing your expertise and your curiosity, which will contribute to what will be a great and productive and collaborative summit. Before we walk through the program, I just want to recognize a few partners. This event doesn't happen by accident, right? It happens because people make it happen. And so I want to say a sincere gratitude to the Gates Foundation on the Agile Data side, represented here by Richard Caldwell. Richard, thank you. And the GIZ on the Agile DPI side. These funders have not only invested resources, but also a shared belief that ultimately what matters is that better data systems must ultimately support real decisions in the real world. A heartfelt thank you also to the COSA's organizing team and the DPI GIZ team for their support. We will also like to acknowledge that we're gathering here today during the holy month of Ramadan. For many of our colleagues and participants, this is the time of reflection, discipline, generosity, and spiritual focus. We extend our respect to those who are observing and our appreciation for your presence and participation while fasting. May this month bring peace, strength, and clarity, and may our conversations over the next few days reflect the same spirit of thoughtfulness and purpose. Before I hand over to our facilitators and to Andy, I would just like to welcome Carla here on behalf of the GIZ team.
Thank you. Big round of applause. Carla, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Emily. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Carla Hensler, and I would also like to welcome you here today on behalf of the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, GIZ, and also the Diaspora community. We are so happy that you are all here at this very special place, and we want to have you witness a wonder of the world, the Agile Data and DPI Summit. But of course, we hope you get the chance to also see the Victoria Falls. I hear they're pretty great too. So yeah, this summit was originally actually planned to just be around Agile Data, and we were so happy that through our great collaboration with the COSA team, we were able to join in on the fun and also bring in the digital public infrastructure side. So with this, we also had to kind of figure out how actually do both topics fit together. And we saw many points of alignment, but also some open questions, and we wanted to see how the two communities can come together. We are happy to have the opportunity here to discuss these alignments and also explore these open questions with you over the next 3 days, not just in a normal conference setting, but also through group work and more practical approaches, as you will hear from our facilitators shortly. The goal of our Diaspora community is to create good opportunities for us to all learn from each other, to share, to hear examples from the ground, and also to reflect on maybe the struggles and also stories of success that we all encounter every day. We hope that this is exactly what we will be doing over the next 3 days here at the summit, and that this will enable us to also go forward and maybe create a roadmap that really inspires us to work further on these topics, to create maybe possible future projects together, and to further our collaboration and exchange on Agile Data and DPI. Thank you.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, Emily and Carla. Emily from COSA and Carla from GIZ. I must say, I did like the way she said you can visit the Victoria Falls. It's great. It's fantastic. So please, when you go and see it, it'll be super. Well done. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's clear from the framing that we've had. We've just heard, that sets a strategic tone, if I can call it that, of our summit. but now the work of our summit now depends on how we engage with it. Over the next 4 days, as I said, it's not a passive program. It's facilitated working environment designed to surface insights, test assumptions, and build clarity together. I think those are critical components of what we want to do over the next 4 days. To guide that process, we are fortunate to have 3 highly experienced facilitators joining us this morning. Caroline and Mark are IPK certified facilitators with deep expertise in structured dialogue, consensus building, and navigating complex multi-stakeholder environments. Their role is not to provide answers, but to help us ask sharper questions, surface real tensions, and move from conversation to clarity. They will also ensure that this room works, not just listens. That'd be interesting. And also as well, joining them as a 3rd facilitator, who's joining us in the team up here, is Leonard Nima. He's from Studio Nima. Caroline, Mark, Leonard, over to you. You can clap for them.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure to welcome you all also from the facilitation side and to give you a little bit of an idea what to expect in these 3 coming days. But first, why are we so many? You have had the welcome from Andy Hodges, and there's 3 more people. We quickly would like to create some transparency what we are all doing. So maybe let's start with Leonard, but you will see there's people who are responsible for the content, for what we discuss, for the issues, for the questions, for the substance, and for the outcomes. And there's people here who are responsible for the process to guide you through those 3 days. And we have learned that dividing those 2 roles is really a good idea to make things work. I hand over to you, Leonhard, so you can quickly say what your role is in here.
Yeah, you can all, good morning everybody, you can see it here, track output and weave threads. And I felt like they gave me a difficult task because there will be so much going on in this room and outside of the room. I'll try to grasp it a little bit. I might come around and ask some stupid questions, so bear with me, and I then try to weave the threads. Let's see how it goes. Who is next? Caroline.
You see, maybe the most important in this is you, because you are the ones who, as a collective intelligence, figure out how these 2 spheres somehow can converge and work together. You are all here because you have been selected as experts in some way or another. While we all hold sort of part of the reality and the picture, if we come together, we are able to collectively see on a bigger scale how the different parts interact and what we jointly can create. So you are the ones who are responsible for the content, for the substance, and for the outputs at the end of the 3 days.
Yeah. So Mark and I, when you're gonna see us on stage, you know that you're gonna start to work and not to listen. So our role is really to guide you through the participatory processes that we've designed for you, because as Carla said in the introduction, there are still lots of open questions on how those 2 communities that you represent can work together. So we hope to provide you space to discuss, exchange, and discover opportunities to move forward. So we'll come here, we'll guide you through those different exercises.
So let's look at the program on a very high level. One back? Yes. So we are here gathered at the shore of the Zambezi River, and in the first part, more upstream, we will see there is different villages. So that's different places with different kind of knowledge, experiences. There's different camps up there, and there is a lot of tributary rivers converging into the mighty Zambezi River. So that is what we're going to do on day one, being today. We're going to see who brings what in terms of knowledge, experience. We're going to look at different case studies. We're going to share where we are coming from. We're going to share what our interests and ideas are, and those start all flowing into this mainstream. So we are going to gather the different elements that somehow are important to have present and keep in mind and working with. That's sort of gathering the different parts and elements.
So you see the cooperation, we're all gonna present one day. So today you're gonna learn, discover about what you guys are doing. Tonight, we're gonna start the journey in going into that river and to discover, and that's a good metaphor for what's gonna happen tomorrow. So tomorrow, it's gonna be more of an exploration day. So it's gonna be structured around three main moments. We're gonna start by exploring what remains to be looked at to get us unstuck. But where are we stuck? What problem should we move forward? So that's gonna be the beginning of the morning. We're gonna hear from some experts to frame this, but then we need your reflection on where is it that you keep on getting stuck, therefore where is it that we as a group need to put our energy to make progress in that field. So that's the first part that we're gonna do. We also will try to get inspired. There are some new things going on in your world, so what's happening? So just a little bit of inspiration. It's gonna be the second moment. And the afternoon, we have a revelation to make. We don't have an agenda. And why we don't have an agenda? Because you'll be the one creating that agenda for what's happening in the afternoon. And we're going to guide you through this process. We're going to have a big wall here, and you guys are going to decide what is it that you want to talk about. So it's an easy task for us. No planning. It's all on you. And then day three.
Just wanted to add no pressure right, to the group here, because then it's still day three coming, and day three is all about developing the roadmap. The roadmap is about the way forward, right? How do we translate, and how do you translate all these thoughts, all these discussions into concrete action items? And when we think about a roadmap, it needs to be relevant, highly relevant. It needs to be impactful, right? Think about that. It needs to be ambitious, but at the same time also somehow doable. So that will be interesting. How do we translate into that? We have a lot of different discussions already in advance, but maybe think about three big pillars. How do we and how do you implement and scale projects and tools? That's certainly one big bucket that's going to be in the room here. The second one is about frameworks, policies, what needs to be done in that field and what can be done. And the third one is all about the exchange and developing and further enhancing the network. And that's why we're all here. So again, no pressure. I hope you're all feeling good about this. I can see some happy faces, some skeptical ones. It's going to be a lot of work, but also a lot of fun, I would say. So.
Thank you. Yes, there is nothing without rules in the world. So we would like to present you a few suggestions, and then we can contract on this. What you have heard in the introduction is this is a very interactive event. So we depend hugely on your active contributions. And somehow it's really a give and take. The more you contribute, likely the more you will be able to take away from this event here. Something that's not always easy is listening to what people really are saying. There's two ways of listening. There's listen to respond, and there's listen to understand. And the two are almost the opposite of each other. So we really would like to encourage you to pay attention. What is that person really trying to say? And what is in there that may be surprising or disconfirming or discomforting? but it really is an opportunity to expand and advance our own thinking. So the next part is really about being inclusive. There's people from a different background, and in particular from as a community. We have mentioned we bring two communities together here who may have a different angle on things, or they may frame things differently, and then it's really to understand where are the connection points, where are the common grounds, where are the overlaps, and how can we make this work in conjuncture. We really like the yes and spirit, so to build on each other's ideas, sort of if two people say two different things, what happens if we combine them, what is emerging as a third idea on top of that? And different people come here with different needs and preferences. As we've heard, we have people from the private sector, we have policymakers, we have scientists, we have activists. We all need something different, and let's somehow try to create and give everyone so that everyone can walk out of here with something precious in their hand as a takeaway. We are trying to manage time as good as we can, but we can't do that on our own. So we need to share the responsibility for time management, meaning if you hear, for instance, that bell, it's a Nepalese, a Tibetan temple bell. If you hear that bell, it really means we would like you to come as quickly as possible back here into the room. If we say we start at 9 o'clock, I'm Swiss by origin, so there's a famous saying, an African saying, the Swiss have the time, and the Swiss have the clocks, and the Africans, they have the time. And there is a lot of truth to that, and yet I can't deny where I'm coming from. So we would really like to ask you to be on time, or give us at least the permission to get started with the program on schedule, even if not everyone is in the room. Please leave your phones and notebooks and laptops on the side as much as possible. We are so often in online meetings and in all sort of digital and virtual realms. This is an opportunity, and that's why we're here physically gathered in a room, to engage between people and minds. So, if ever possible, let's try to make good use of this opportunity. Do phone calls outside of the room. Trust me, even if you're going into the back of the room, the acoustics are in a way that we can follow every word of your conversation that you're holding in here. One last thing, if you saw the picture before, when we raise the hand in group activities, you're deeply immersed in a group activity. That means we would like to get your attention and silence. If you see us raising the hand or someone else, also raise the hand. And with that, it propagates, so people, even with their back to us, they see somewhere a hand raised. So can everyone quickly raise a hand? Yes. That means silence, please, because we would like to make an announcement and move on with the program. Great. So with that, we are ready. I hand over to Caroline for the most important introduction of all.
No
and
pressure.
that's about you.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, please, big round of applause, Mark and Leonard. Carolyn, we've got some exercises for our participants.
With a perfect transition, Mark was just saying, leave your computers and phone out, and we're going to ask you to take your phone for interactivity. So you see, it's a yes and. Yes, so as we were saying, the success of this conference is going to be on how you connect to each other, you create synergy, you try to ideate together. So for this to happen, of course, you need to start knowing who you are and where to find information. So that's what we want to do now. We just want to know a little bit more about who's in the room. So for that, we're gonna ask you to respond to some question via this tool that you probably know. I mean, you are a tech crew, way better than I am. So please flash this code. That's a Mentimeter, and we're gonna be able to understand who's in the room.
Have you been able to log in at the back? Yeah? They go to the link.
Yes, but yeah. If someone has an issue with the QR code, you can go to the Menti website and use the code on the slide. Is it working for everybody?
Is everyone okay? Yeah? No? Okay, put in www.menti.com, then you'll be able to put in that. You haven't got Wi-Fi? Waiting for presenter. That's okay, right?
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, that's fine.
That means we're waiting for you to be ready.
You're waiting for us. Yeah, thank you.
I suggest let's go with the first question. So, of course, what's important, and by design, what the organizers try to do is to make sure we have people from different field and different perspective. So let's see how successful we were in that. And so you can see on the screen a representation of who you are.
Wow. Development partners, look at that, 50 out of 67 responded. Keep them coming in. It would be nice to get 100%, wouldn't it, Caroline? 100% responders. Private sector actors. There we go, just a couple more.
Lots of researcher, lots of development partner, private sector actors are there as well. We have farmer with us. I know we have more than 2, by the way.
Yeah, we definitely have more than 2. Oh, she's, okay. Well, there's one more, so let's add one, yeah, in there. And there should be a 4th. There, at the back. Right, so those, the farmers, how about that? Let's have the 4 farmers stand up. Let's see the farmers, please. I know there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand. Yeah. Give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be hearing from them very shortly. Right, 12 researchers. Can I see the researchers, please? There we go. Look around, guys, so you know exactly where the people are in the room as you'll be talking to them during the course of the next 4 days, networking. Thanks. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much for coming. 5 policymakers. Where are they? Please stand. Oh, there we go. Policymakers, thank you. I know there's some representatives from the government of Zimbabwe here. Thank you for coming. Big round of applause from all of them. Thank you. Right, this will be the big one, Carolyn. Development partners. Up you come. Development partners. There they are. Okay. Give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your attendance. Private sector actors. How many is that? 8? 8 of you. Please stand. Private sector actors. All right, there you go. Look around the room. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Last 2 civil society members. 5 of you. Oh, there we go. Big round of applause. Oh, COSA standing up. There they are. Okay. And, okay, I'm going to ask, okay, 4 people must stand up. 4 people saying other. Who's other? Right, that's one other. Where's the other 3 others? Or is it Carolyn and Mark were the others, were you? And Audra. Who's the others? Oh, you're an other. When you said other, what is that? Ah, okay, there we go. Please, big round of applause for the others, I suppose, yeah? Carolyn?
Great. Let's now go to the next question. We want to check whether we've heard the good morning in all the languages we should have. So please put a pin on where you're coming from.
I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah? Let's have a look. And guys,
wow.
7 of you didn't respond. So
4 continents already in just one tick.
There we go.
Wow.
I think, where's Andre, where are you? Because you're from Russia, but you're put in UK, right? At least we'd have had one from Russia. Oh, look at there we go. Look at that. Oh, wow.
I know who that is.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. So I think we're managing well with diversity, geographical diversity, participants.
Yeah. 10 more of you to respond, please. That's brilliant. Look at that concentration in Africa, South America, also, of course, Europe, India, of course, there with our colleagues from India, Bangalore and New Delhi, and, of course, North America. Canada, I see there, right? What's that one on the right at the top? Is that Canada?
Right.
On the North America, is that? Huh?
Let's ask.
Oh.
Who's?
Oh, it's a little, but it's Canada, is it? Oh, right, okay. Brilliant. Excellent. 64. That's a really nice, diverse. Mauritius, of course.
Yes.
Christian is there from Mauritius. What's that one in the middle of the ocean there? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Who is that? Huh? You swam here? Oh, sorry. Who is that in the middle of the ocean? Down there. No, that's not Mauritius. I hope not, anyway. Otherwise, you've moved. Okay. Well, anyway, you come from Atlantis. I'm sorry.
Nice. I like it.
That's brilliant.
Okay, let's now move to the next one, if you're okay. Your field of expertise. And yes, the idea is that we have representative from DPI, from Agile. I'm sure some of you are already working on the intersection of both topics, and maybe some are still trying to decide where to focus their energy.
Oh, I like this. It looks like it's a nice division of all the different skills, Caroline.
Yes. And are our color matching the color code of the badges? I'm not sure.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
So there's already lots of minds that are working on the integration of both topics, so that's great.
And that's something we'll be discussing, of course, in one of our sessions this morning about the intersection and the correlation and complementariness of both DPI and Agile. I'll tell you what, DPI community, stand please. DPI, and I see there's 18 of you. Look around everyone, you can see who, remember we're going to be networking, and also in future we won't be sitting next to your friends, right? You'll be sitting next to other people. Thank you, big round of applause for them. 14 Agile community, so 18 DPI, 14 Agile. Please stand, Agile. Work closely with the Agile community. Excellent. Now we're getting the faces and seeing where people are. Well done. Please, a big round of applause for them also for coming. Ah, look at that. Intersection of both topics. That's excellent. Intersection of both topics, please, everyone. Right, good. Okay. Excellent. I now know who to throw questions at later on during the next 4 days. And you don't know yet, 3 of you. I'm going to ask you to stand. Thank you. Well done. Well done. He stood straight away. The other 2? Oh.
This is where convincing needs to happen. You all have targets to see on which side it's going to come. Okay, I suggest we go to the last question. As we're starting, it's 3 days. You're sitting here, you may be wondering, you've heard a bit about the agenda that is with some question mark. So how do you feel? Excited? Good? Curious?
Whoa.
Engaged? Energized? Inspired? Enthusiastic? Youpi! There is some French here.
What is UP? What is UP? Oh, UP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Great. That's the spirit.
I love that. Ready to learn, great expectations, eager to learn. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Inspired, expectant. I like that. I think we're all expectant of what's coming ahead.
Yeah.
I certainly am. I feel agile already. I think that takes it for me, that one. That's exactly it. I think that's a great way to end that. Brilliant. Oh, well done, everyone. Thank you. Please give yourselves another big round. This is fantastic. Thank you. This is how we want to start the conference.
Thank you. And yes, the curiosity spirit, as we say, is something that we really, really welcome because, again, we're here to make things emerge. We don't know what's going to be the outcome and what's going to be the roadmap. So yes, stay curious. I still need a last slide, if that's okay. No, next. So you're going to see when we want to interact, sometimes we'll get some mentee, you'll see this afternoon, just so that we can capture a little bit of what you've learned and also to help you integrate what you will be hearing. So there will be a bit of that. And also, we're going to sometimes do an exercise that is called Turn to Your Neighbor. So we're going to do one turn to your neighbor. The idea with Turn to Your Neighbor is go to someone, can be your neighbors, on the right, on the left, behind you, but the rule is please talk to someone you don't know very well, because if not, that defeats the purpose. And we would like you to discuss in pair. For you, the summit will be a success if, but also I can contribute to this success by. So it's those both sides. What do you expect, but what is it also that you'd like to provide? We're going to give you 5 minutes, so please make sure you both can talk to each other. Turn to your neighbor. Thank you.
And if your neighbor is someone that you know or work with, you can stand up and go to the next person. 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
No. If you haven't take turns, that's the good moment. thank you so much. This is the type of conversation we're going to continue to have. So with that, Andy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to give her a very big round of applause. Carolyn, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And of course, Mark and Leonard before her, who will be facilitating most of the sessions. Wow, I tell you, that was a lot of, those two questions were very important and dramatic in terms of what we want to achieve going forward. And I'm sure we're going to come back to those questions sometime during the conference to see whether you actually did meet those expectations. I can get rid of this now. Right, am I back on here? All right, brilliant. You can hear me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now come to our keynote speaker address. Again, as we gather here, I like using this word. It's a pivotal moment, I believe, right now. There's no doubt about it. With digital systems expanding across the globe, I mean, just recall just a few years ago, and look at how we're using our phones, the digital systems we're using, the kind of infrastructure we're using. It's incredible, and that's just in a few short years. So you can imagine how much that will grow going forward. But the fact is that, oops, here I go again. So what we're going to hear from today is, he is the Director of Technology, Innovation, Connectivity and Infrastructure Development Division at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA. He did send us a recording. They did want to unfortunately have come, but due to pressures, they were unable to make it. But here's our keynote speaker, and I know he's not here, but I think it's always good to give whoever speaks a good big round of applause. So please give Robert a big round of applause. Right, Robert Lisinge, I turn it over to you.
Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Africa's agriculture stands at a critical crossroad. Climate volatility, price shocks, and rapid digitalization are shaping the sector at a pace that traditional planning mechanisms and survey cycles can no longer match. It is for this reason that this summit's theme, Data and Infrastructure at a Pivotal Moment, is not only timely, but strategically significant. Within this evolving context, data represents actionable intelligence, information that farmers and governments rely upon to make informed decisions. This includes insights on weather and climate risk, soil and water conditions, crop and livestock performance, pest and disease outbreaks, and market prices. Equally important is digital infrastructure, particularly digital public infrastructure, which provides the systems that render such data usable. These systems encompass digital identification, farmer and land registries, connectivity, and secure data sharing standards. The nexus between data and infrastructure is straightforward. Infrastructure generates and facilitates the movement of data, while data guides governments in investing in the right infrastructure. When these two components develop independently, country may establish advanced digital platforms, yet remain unable to answer fundamental questions such as which farmers are most exposed to drought this season, where are food prices rising most rapidly, which interventions are delivering measurable impact. Alternatively, we may generate high-quality statistics that arrive too late to avert a crisis. This is where Agile data becomes essential. Agile data refers to the generation of timely, decision-ready insights through the responsible integration of multiple sources, such as surveys, administrative records, geospatial information, and market data. For Africa's agriculture, achieving this integration can strengthen early warning systems, enhance targeting of subsidies and social protection, expand access to finance and insurance for farmers, and ultimately contribute to more resilient and sustainable food systems. Agile data and digital public infrastructure play a broader role in ensuring inclusive growth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the push for digital public infrastructure and agile data is not an aspirational luxury. It is a catalyst for 4 critical and immediate transitions that will define the next decade for our continent, Africa. First, the expansion of digital payment systems and mobile money is transforming the economic landscape. By reducing the trust deficit through veritable or verifiable data, small and medium-sized enterprises can finally minimize transaction costs and access digital credit. Digital public infrastructure enables this by providing a common interface where a small merchant's transaction history can be used as a collateral for a loan, a feat impossible under fragmented legacy banking. Second, Agile Data is the engine of African continental free trade area. For a digital single market to work, systems must be interoperable across borders. The Pan-African Payment and Settlement System is a prime example of digital infrastructure in action. It allows for real-time cross-border payments in local currencies, cutting transaction costs by nearly 50% by removing the need for intermediary anchor currencies like the euro or US dollars. Third, reliable digital public infrastructure allows for the rapid sharing of agri-data. In a continent facing intensifying climate risk, precision farming and early warning systems supported by open data exchanges are boosting yields and resilience for smallholder farmers. Finally, Africa holds 60% of the world's solar resources. Digital public infrastructure can manage smart grids that integrate these renewable sources into regional electricity markets. This energy is vital for the next frontier, data centers. Currently, Africa's data center capacity is roughly 307 megawatts, less than 2% of the global total. To reach the required 1,200 megawatts by 2030, we must shift from relying on overseas servers, which increase latency and compromise digital sovereignty. Ladies and gentlemen, data infrastructure is a sovereign asset. To protect national interest, we must invest in African-owned infrastructure. While data center market is projected to grow from $3.4 billion in 2024 to $6.4 or $6.8 billion in 2030, the distribution is uneven. 46% of capacity is concentrated in just 4 countries: South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and Egypt. This imbalance stems from historical underinvestment in fiber backbones and reliable power. In bridging this gap, we must focus on investing in Tier 3 facilities. These are concurrently maintainable data centers that have redundant power and cooling systems, ensuring they never shut down, even during maintenance or localized power failures. We must also focus on strategic investments. In this regard, African countries are urged to allocate at least 1% of their GDP to national digital systems. This target is essential to transition from consumers of foreign technology to architects of our own digital destiny. Moreover, African countries require a massive scale-up of local technical expertise to manage their sovereign clouds. Ladies and gentlemen, as I move towards the end of my remarks, permit me to highlight that the African Union's Data Policy Framework 2024 and the Digital Transformation Strategy 2020 to 2030 provide a viable roadmap for African countries. By harmonizing our laws, such as the Malabo Convention, we ensure that data flows freely but safely across our borders. The Economic Commission for Africa is already turning this vision into reality. Through partnerships with GIZ, we are developing national data governance strategies in countries like Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Mozambique, and Tanzania. Simultaneously, our digital ID projects have already registered over 16 million people in Ethiopia and are expanding across Togo, Malawi, and Nigeria. By building our own data centers, enacting strong laws, and investing in our people, we ensure that Africa's digital transformation supports trust accountability, and inclusive growth, rather than reinforcing old divides. Let me conclude by leaving you with a question of critical importance at this pivotal moment. How can we ensure that digital infrastructure evolves beyond transactional systems to also serve as statistical infrastructure that drives resilience and inclusive growth? I thank you for your attention, and I wish you fruitful deliberations.
Am I on? Right. Thank you. Please give Mr. Lusinga another round of applause. Apologies for that. You know, I was listening to him with really intently, and it's clear that his message is reinforcing exactly why we're here and how important it is that we are here. And I think even more importantly, the responsibility that we carry over the next couple of days, because the alignment of data and infrastructure is not a technical exercise anymore. It is a strategic choice. And I think we should all accept that. And if we accept that, it means that the decisions we explore here will hopefully shape how systems evolve across countries, markets, and communities. Now, we do have two keynote speakers this morning. Our next speaker is a friend of mine. We've known each other for many years. He's also a Zimbabwean, which is great. So please put your hands together in welcoming a thought leader, someone who's a pillar, I would say, in Zimbabwe's community. I know he doesn't like me making him embarrassed, but please, a big round of applause if I ask him.
First and foremost, thanks to Robert for setting the scene of what I'd like to speak to this morning. And a very good morning to all of you. And for those of you who traveled, I guess you had a good night's rest and you're ready for some serious action over the next 3 days. Now, Robert reminded us of something very, very important. And we are at a pivotal moment. Governments across Africa and globally are investing in digital public infrastructure. Identity, payments, data exchanges, traceability systems. From a private sector perspective, let me be clear that this investment is not corporate social responsibility. This is not philanthropy. This is not a compliance theater. This is about competitiveness. If systems don't work at the last mile, markets fragment, compliance costs rise, risk increases, margins shrink, and ultimately, capital becomes expensive. So let us frame this correctly. Agile Data and DPI are not public goods alone. They are strategic assets. This is about return on investment. Let me ground this on 4 business realities, taking a private sector perspective to all this. First, there's regulatory pressure, and this is rising. We see there are issues on traceability. We see there are issues on ESG disclosure. There are due diligence frameworks. Data is no longer optional. Fragmented systems mean duplicated reporting, repeated audits, inconsistent standards. Fragmentation taxes businesses. Alignment reduces that tax. The second point I want to mention is that risk is rising. We heard climate volatility. Today, we're experiencing supply chain disruptions, input price shocks. Without agile real-time data, uncertainty compounds. Data doesn't eliminate risk, but it makes risk measurable. And measurable risk is financeable. The third point I'd like to make is that markets are digitizing. Payments are digital. Identity is digital. Logistics is digital. Trade documentation is digital. If these systems do not interoperate, value chains stall. When rails don't connect, growth slows. The fourth point, capital is data-driven. Money goes where there is data. Banks lend on verified information. Insurers price on risk models. Investors require incredible or credible metrics. No credible data means higher cost of capital. It's that simple. Let's move on. What happens when systems don't align? Let me be slightly provocative here. When digital public infrastructure and agile data are not aligned, we duplicate data collection. We build parallel platforms. We compete on infrastructure instead of value. Farmers become data entry clerks. And businesses absorb all that inefficiency. When infrastructure is fragmented, friction becomes the hidden tax on growth. And how is that tax paid? That tax is paid in time, in trust, in capital, in opportunity. Alignment is not a technical luxury, it's an economic necessity. Let's be practical. The private sector does not need more platforms. It needs systems that are interoperable, not siloed, that are standardized so that compliance does not require reinvention. It needs systems that are trusted so data can be used commercially and responsibly. It needs systems or data that is timely so that decisions can be made in season, not after the season. Ask the farmers in the house, they will tell you. But critically, if it doesn't work at farm level, it won't work at scale. If onboarding is complex, adoption collapses. If reporting is duplicative, participation drops. If trust is weak, investment hesitates. The usability test is simple. Does it reduce friction, or does it shift friction somewhere else? The return on investment case to get this right. So let me help and translate this into financial language. When Agile Data and DPI are designed well, 4 things happen. 1, there's lower compliance costs. Shared rails reduce duplication. 2, there's reduced risk exposure. Better data improves forecasting and pricing. 3, there's faster market integration. Digital identity, payments, and traceability unlock cross-border scalability. 4, scalable service models. Finance, insurance, advisory, and logistics can be built on shared infrastructure. When infrastructure is shared, competition moves up the value chain where it belongs. This is a pre-competitive collaboration. We collaborate on the rails. We compete on the value. A shift is required for all this to work. We must move from owning systems to contributing to shared rails. We must move from hoarding proprietary data to enabling trust flows. We must move from short-term pilots to long-term integration. The public sector must also move from design with commercial usability in mind, to build standards before platforms, to recognize businesses as co-builders and not just end users. This is a partnership. It is not outsourcing. It is not regulation alone. It is co-creation. But let's recognize that there's tension, and let's acknowledge that tension. The tension between openness and control, the tension between competition and collaboration, the tension between sovereignty and interoperability. But tension is not a weakness. It is a design challenge. The question is not whether the private sector will participate in DPI. It already is. The question is whether we design it intentionally. If we design intentionally, alignment becomes an advantage. If we do not, fragmentation becomes the default. In closing, let me close with this. Agile data tells us what is happening. Digital public infrastructure determines whether we act on it. For business, getting both right is not optional. It is strategic. So I leave you with this challenge. Do not treat DPI as policy alignment. Treat it as competitive positioning, because alignment creates possibility. Advantage comes from execution. If we build infrastructure that works for farmers, it will work for markets. And when markets work better, everybody benefits. Thank you.
Fire as king, ladies and gentlemen. Please, you can do better than that. That was some thought-provoking words there from him. Thank you very much indeed. So, of course, we'd like to thank our two keynote speakers, Robert Lisinge from UNECA, and, of course, Fayad King, a thought leader. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to do something quite interesting right now. Now, I'll tell you why. Because we're now going to be doing something very essential. We're bringing the conversation back to the people whose decisions these systems are actually meant to serve. Are we not? The farmers. And of course, our next session is entitled, What Users Are Expecting, Voices from the Field. But before I introduce you to the farmers, I would like you all, please, to close your eyes. Please close your eyes now.
Farmers have been commodified along with what they grow. So we refer to people and their families as coffee farmers, cocoa farmers, cotton farmers. But really, they're guardians of their landscape. They're scientists. They're people that are growing the food and fabrics that we all consume. And if we engage with them as partners, rather than people within supply chains, we have an ability to exchange our values, our skills, our relationships, and our resources. And through that exchange, new systems will emerge.
Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed, please, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Keep your eyes closed. Don't worry, something's going to surprise you. Keep your eyes closed. You can open. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, a big, big round of applause. Right now, before you go, ma'am. Right, okay, now, unfortunately, those of you may not understand Shona, of course, but those who did understand Shona understood they were singing farming songs. So I'm going to call one of the ladies back very quickly, if she can come back, just to explain exactly what the song meant, so you have an idea about what they were singing about. I don't know if any of you seen that have you seen that thing that they bash I know a lot of Africans have, bash to make the mealie meal or the groundnuts. Anyway, hello, what's your name?
My name is Chipo.
Chipo, it's a pleasure, thank you for coming. Give Chipo a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Right, now, can you explain to us, please, exactly what that song was all about?
Okay, the first song, the headman is waking up the farmers. Farmers, let's go and plow. Those who don't want to wake up, leave them. And the grandmother will prepare something for you. Then for the second song, it's saying, farmers, the rain is coming. Please take your seedlings and we go and plow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed that immensely. I was actually almost tempted to join them and start dancing, but I think I'll shock you too much for that. Right, anyway, let's move on. As I said, this is a very critical session, because why are we here? We're effectively here because really it's about the farmer, isn't it? I mean, that's the bottom line at the end of the day. So it's very important that we started off our session today, or at least our major panel discussion session, with voices from the field. So, without further ado, I'd like to call upon to join me here on the stage the 4 farmers representatives or farmers that we have. So first of all, and please give them a big round of applause. The first is Martha Piri. She's from Zambia. There she is there, please. A big round of applause. Thank you, Martha. We have Dadirai Mabaya. Dadirai, she's coming. Now she says Cynthia. I prefer Dadirai. Oh, you can do better than that. Come on. Then we have Tony Mugoya. He's a farmer. Tony's from Uganda, right? Beautiful nation, Uganda, if you've been there. Welcome, Tony. And last but not least, Safia Ahmed, farmer from Nigeria. She works in extension services. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be moderating this session. So I'll be joining you on stage. Thank you so much for being with us and joining us. Now, your microphones are next to you. You can turn them on, or we can actually use the handheld. Right. I think one of the issues that we need to try and get to the bottom of is the data. What data is actually being used by farmers? And what's interesting here on stage is we have various farmers representing various things, if I can say that. We have a farmer that works with the rural community, rural farmers in Zambia. She'll explain more about that. A farmer who's here in Zimbabwe, Mashonaland East. You're doing chickens? Is it poultry?
Yeah, it's chickens.
And you're doing pigs. She's doing pigs. Mashonaland East, this is about, it's quite far from here, but it's in Zimbabwe. A lady from Nigeria working on extension services and working with a whole bunch of farmers to understand the data and how that works. She's also going to talk about that. And of course, finally, last but not least, a farmer leader that runs a cooperative. It's about 138 coffee farmers, if I'm not mistaken, in Uganda. Because as we know, Uganda now is I've just told by Africa that Uganda now is the largest coffee producer in Africa. They've overtaken Ethiopia. Sorry, anyway, enough of that. Right. Right, so let's get into the question. I'm going to ask each of the farmers just specific questions, and then we'll break them down and ask follow-ups after that. So I think I might as well start with you at the end, isn't it? Thank you. Right, now let's talk about technology. You talk about technology, you're obviously operating in a rural type environment. Farmers can be quite far away from towns or from infrastructure or from roads and so forth. So what role does technology play in your business and daily decisions?
Thank you so much. I think it has played a big role. As he has already mentioned, I am a farmer. Most of the data that which I collect from the farmers, I use mobile phones. Due to the distance where farmers are. So I use mobile phones whereby I record whatever challenges they have. Then later on, I share the problems that which they have to the other community. Yes.
It's interesting because you did say that some of your farmers are deep in rural areas.
Yes.
Is there an issue about that collection of data or using that sort of data that you require to make informed decisions quickly?
Sorry?
Do you use data to try and make informed decisions quickly, and how do you pass on that conversation? You do that?
Yes, I do use data to make decisions quickly. In a situation whereby maybe I have a poultry, then in that poultry, I use sensor-based feeders. So they will help me to know whether that poultry is being attacked by predators. So they will notify me later on. I will get back to home whereby I'll call if I'm at work.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. Dadira, it's a similar question for you. I mean, I know as a piggery, running piggery farming, pig farming, there's all sorts of procurement and there's all sorts of things that you require to be done as a business, because farming is a business at the end of the day, isn't it? Maybe you could talk to us about how data impacts your business.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So from my end, I'm mainly into pig production and sweet potato production. So where I've interacted with data is to do with compliance. Look, the clients that I deal with, from whether the government or the private sector, they've got some compliance requirements that they request or require from my side, which includes but not limited to the tax clearance, NASA compliance. So all of that, I use the interface online to actually get my tax clearance from the terms and the NASA clearance certificate from the NASA online platform. So if I'm to participate in government tenders, I also have to interact with the PRAS online system. Then when it comes to understanding the market, there's a platform from Musika Express where they post their commodity pricings every day. So I have an appreciation of what is happening on the market and what exactly the market is expecting. I can give, for instance, as an example, I do with an abattoir called Shamiso. So they actually communicate with me via WhatsApp Business on what they are expecting in terms of the cages expected from the porkers I'm supposed to deliver, their expected pricing. So I'm able to make informed decisions on the kind of pigs I'm supposed to move out from my pens. Then at the same time, I also need to make some procurement decisions pertaining to the inputs for my pigs and for the sweet potatoes. So all of that is actually informed and advised from the online platforms, whereby I have to look for the prices from different suppliers online and then make informed decisions from that. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give a round of applause, both of them, Mercy and Daddy Rai. It's a fact, right? I mean, farming is a business at the end of the day. And if the data can help you achieve your business goals, and the right data at the right time, like getting the right fertilizer or buying the right feedstuffs for your pigs, it obviously does promote your business and help you become better off, if I can put it that way.
Sure, you can say that. Excellent.
Sophia, it's interesting. We're talking here, you said Mercy there, talking about her contacts with rural farmers in Kumusha. Sorry, Kumusha is our rural hand. That's whenever you hear someone say Kumusha, it means our home, where we come from. Okay, Kumusha. And then, of course, you have a direct farmer who's working doing piggery. Now, you in Nigeria, you work with a lot of smallholder farmers, extension services and so data, I would believe, plays a huge role in all of that. Maybe you could talk us through that.
Thank you. I think as an extension agent, we are in between leveraging the gap between researchers, scientists, the knowledge, whatever tools they are producing, we take it to the farmers. So, and most times when you want to design programs, intervention projects, definitely you need data, you know. So it's one of the core role of an extension agent. And over more than a decade I've been on the field, I can tell you that there was a time we collect data from farmers, pen to paper. You come back, you're very tired with migraine, talking for hours, and you are left to start inputting data, cleaning it. The process was quite very rigorous, but that's like, there's been a growth trajectory where we now use ODK. So I think technology has made data collection very, very effective for us, very fast, and also it has made it more productive that you can even do more study area, capture more farmers, and we've been able to, and you're able to make more better decisions. So at the end of the day, as an extension agent, you find out that integrating technology makes your work more better, excellent, and it's more productive. So technology has taken us from point A to where we are at the peak now, where I am on the field collecting data, and from the dashboard, maybe the program coordinator can technically just give you a insight what the result is going to look like. So on the field where you spend like maybe 3 months for just the data collection, maybe need assessment, baseline survey, marketing analysis, you spend 3 months because of the rigorous reward. Technology has made it, has been able to bridge it, made it more simpler, shorter, like maybe just a month, 3 weeks.
Yeah. But I mean, it's critical, and I think we'll talk a bit later on about how that data affects policy decisions, because I think that's very important, correct? Tony, fascinating. We were having a long conversation with you yesterday, in fact, with all of you, and the same question for you, Tony. Technology, the role it plays in all your cooperatives, 160 odd, is it 168?
138.
138 farmers under a cooperative all doing coffee. Maybe talk to us about in Uganda how technology plays a part in that business and plays a role in making business decisions.
Thank you very much. 20 years ago, when I started working with cooperatives, I noticed that when farmers sold their coffee and they were given paper receipts, they left those receipts at the cooperative. So we asked the farmers, why aren't you valuing records? They said, these records are useless. I mean, I've been paid, why should I move with the paper? So that was the farmers' mentality about records and data. However, we asked those farmers, what were their 4 most important services that they needed? And they explained that they needed extension, training. The second service was input, supplies. The third was financial services. The fourth was markets and price information. Then we showed them the connection between data collection and access to those services. And when they saw that connection, their attitudes changed completely. And now they are the ones who insist that they want the information and data collected, digitized, so that it can improve their service delivery options. Thank you.
Tony, I'm going to stay with you because I think this speaks to what you're talking about. One of the issues, of course, that always comes up in any conversation about data is the farmer giving all this data. They obviously think of their data security, of course. Where is it going? What's happening to it? Is it actually relevant? No one gets back to them. No one talks to them about it. But you somehow in Uganda have done something I've considered quite unique. You've started to use that data to give incentives and value to your members. Maybe you could talk us through that. How suddenly they sort of had a resistance to data collection to now literally people running and knocking down on your door to give you data. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I'll give you one example. For example, farmers need agricultural financing, but most of them, because they are smallholders, they don't have registered land. They don't have land titles. They don't have registered property. So the banks cannot assess their credit worthiness. In our interaction with banks like Opportunity Bank, I saw a name of somebody from Opportunity in this meeting. we discussed alternative risk management tools for the banks to be able to finance smallholders. And one thing they agreed that if they had a record, like the transaction history of farmers, then they would be able to tailor products, financial products, that would be suitable for these smallholders. And that's what we did. We started collecting the trading history of farmers over a period of 3 years and beyond. And we were able to profile these farmers and share this data with the financial institutions. And the banks, in response, surprisingly, were able to use this track record as a basis for financing. So that was a very big incentive. And we've seen this also expanding in markets, where in coffee we have EUDR requirements, whereby you're supposed to map a coffee farm and also to have a traceability system. So these are not just enablers for farmers. They are now essential tools that enable farmers to access services.
Thank you. Sophia, it's interesting, just following on what Tony says, because obviously this implies a deliberate strategy by farmers to lobby, whether it's lobby government, whether it's lobby banks, or at least go and explain what's happening. So technology then is critical to try and gather that track record. So looking at it from your perspective and the farmers you work with, the smallholder farmers you work with in Nigeria, does technology strengthen their business, or are there any kind of loopholes or weaknesses in that use of tech? Because sometimes technology can make it harder, not easier. What is your view of that?
Okay, thank you. I think everything has its pros and cons, but sometimes you have to look at which is higher. So I would say technically, yes, technology has made it very easy for farmers, farming system, farmer organization. In fact, reaching out to them, providing them more value from production to post-harvest to processing, even storage, warehousing, and the rest of them. There's been a lot of tools that makes it more easy to track, to identify. In fact, we even have some apps now that are AI-driven that can help with production. For a farmer that's doing other stuff, like has a secondary source of income, it gives them prompt like, oh, Mr. Ada, you are supposed to go to farm to irrigate in 2 days' time. Yeah, but where the issue lies is that I think maybe I'll just give a few points. Some of these farmers, their literacy level is very low. So them adopting this technology, maybe the tools, is sometimes very difficult. So you have to work with extension agents who have them, and they are working with them closely. And again, on the average, a typical rural farmer, smallholder farmer, is a laggard. So adopting technology is quite very difficult, except maybe it's been demonstrated over a period of time. They're able to see results, and they're like, oh, okay, this is a demo plot, this is a traditional plot, this is how it went, this is how it looked like, and they see the result, and they're like, oh, okay, I can come back, and I can adopt technology. But of course, there are sometimes period where we go to implement projects or even collect data, and like I told you about the growth of integrating technology to data collection, where we had apps then, before we had ODK that you can use to collect data offline. But before then, we had custom devices that had network with radios that you go to some certain communities, you are collecting data. But at the end of the day, you can't even use those devices because there's no network, there's no to charge them battery, there's no electricity to even charge them. So at the end of the day, we go back to the urban communities, print them out again in paper, and come back to the pen and paper and come back. But of course, after a period of time, we've seen growth where now you can use ODK, you collect your data offline, you come back to your urban community, and you are able to synchronize, run the analysis, and you now go back and implement whatever it is your takeaway from the data that you've collected.
Thank you. Dadiwai, I think it's a similar question. I mean, you've already spoken about, I suppose, in a way, I'm not sure all of you know, but when Dadiwai was talking about NASA and taxes, that's the Social Security program that you have to pay in every month. You've got your PAYE for your workers. You have to pay maybe taxes and also your own taxes as a company when you send your results. So you all have to do that online. So so that obviously tech is playing a huge part, but maybe emphasize whether, you know, the pros and the cons, the benefits of tech and sometimes the hindrances of tech, if you have any examples.
Okay, thank you for that. What's more crucial from my production enterprises is all about timing. So I have to ensure that from my pigs, at least a third of the total revenue I'm going to get is directed towards the stock feed. So if I'm not able to manage that, I'm going to run losses. So how best do I then balance? I have to make sure that my market is ready when my pigs are now ready for marketing. So how do I do that? I make use of social media platforms to market my produce to the generic world. And I've had instances whereby we have people from the diaspora responding to my adverts and actually buying for the relatives back here. So they pay using the online platforms, that is the EcoCash, the World Remit, and I do the deliveries and obviously take pictures to actually acknowledge that the deliveries have been done. But on the flip side of things, like I said, it's all about timing, and the pigs needs the feed every day, and there's an estimated amount of feed I have to feed each and every pig on a daily basis. So if I'm running out of stocks, I need to go procure more feeds. So there was this instance whereby I had only soft money that was in my bank. I didn't have hard cash. And by coincidence, the online platforms were down. And the supplier said, you can try. And coming from a farmer perspective, I need my pigs to be fed, right? And I should just give it a try and see how it goes. So in this instance, the payment was actually deducted from my account, but then it did not reflect in the account of the recipient. So that entailed, I then had to engage the responsible officers to actually retrieve my money back, and that was going to take a lot more time and days. We're talking of days here, and that entails, it's also going to affect the amount of feed I'm now giving to my pigs, because I also need to balance. If it needs 2 kgs per day and I'm left with only 50 kgs, it means for the following days I may be going to be giving them 1 kg or less, and this is also going to eat into my profits. So yeah, I guess that's the balance between. Thank you.
Thank you for that. It's fascinating. In Zimbabwe, we have a lot of network challenges, if I can call it that. So sometimes the network goes down, and particularly when you have mobile money payments. And we operate a lot on mobile money in Zimbabwe. I'm not sure. I know Kenya, they do. I know Nigeria as well, Uganda. So a lot of things are done by mobile money. So immediately everything goes down. Your business can effectively stop. It's actually quite bad. Mostly, we're talking about technology and whether how it's helped strengthen your business, particularly those of your farmers that you lead, and also the hindrances to it. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because you have all these farmers in rural areas where you're not close to normal infrastructure. They have to travel long distances. So maybe talk us through that and the strengthening and how it either strengthens or some of the pitfalls of it.
Okay. How it strengthens me is that I'm able to sell a lot of chickens at the good price. For example, when there are billboards, you find that a lot of people, they will pass by, then they will get information on that billboard. The information that is there, indeed, it will tell them that there's someone selling the chickens. So it will go far away. They will be able to communicate with me. Then in terms of prices, they will also communicate with me. But in a situation where these posters, they are not there, it will be difficult for me to sell my products. Yeah. Then the other thing is where I'm working from. You find that maybe network is not there. It will be difficult for me to give a feedback to the people keeping chickens. Then it's also difficult for me to it can be a challenge where in a situation where the sensors are not in that poultry. For example, if they are attacked, then me, I'm not there. I cannot communicate with a person who is at home to prevent them. So I may lose some of them, but where I use the sensors, then it's easy for me to have healthier birds. It's easy for me to come up with a good number of chickens. Then it's also helping me to deliver information on the process of growth as a brooder farmer, whereby I use the laptops to record information on how somebody came successful in the process of growing the beds.
Thank you for that. And also, I remember you did mention the fact that sometimes you have to gather the farmers together to pass information on. I mean, because some of them are remote. I think here we must remember we're talking about farmers who are living in remote parts of Zambia.
Yes, I do record. Then after that, then you show the recordings to the farmer so that they learn something. Yes.
Just as a final question for all of you, let me start with you, Mercy. So you obviously have policymakers, you have system builders, you've got people who are putting together the architecture, all the digital architecture that you're using, whether it's phones or WhatsApp or various other medium. If you had to speak to them directly, what would you like to see changed? What would you like to see they do that makes your life better, makes your farmers better, increases their standard of living, increases information, increases their ability to make decisions quickly? What would you say to them if you had the choice, if you had the chance?
I think I can say that they're supposed to have posters in their areas, whereby it would be easy for them for buyers to identify where they are doing their business.
So in a way, you'd like to see easier access to market using technology or using data to try and increase your market share, try and get more product out there, which of course increases your farmers' livelihoods.
To continue to have more mobile phones so that they communicate through WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you. So there is a similar question to you. Similar, I mean, at the end of the day, we do have policymakers. I know that you've spoken about how you've lobbied as a group of women farmers to try and get specifically some of the tenders, which were going all to men, but and things like that. So maybe talk to us about what you would say to policymakers, to system builders, to these who create the digital architecture.
Oh, thank you. Like for my enterprise, it's still on a low-scale basis, small-scale basis, and I'm still growing up, and with farming, it's all about numbers. And on looking at a larger scale, I would like to have land which I call my own, which is at a bigger scale. And the situation right now on the ground is when you apply for land, you have to download the application form from the website, and then you submit it physically, and you have to then follow up physically or either through a phone call, just checking how far is my application. So I would envision a system whereby I have a unique identifier in the system for my application, which I can at least trace on a day-to-day or on a timely basis whether my application is going forward or not, like in terms of the progress, and if there are any other information that I need to upload, then the system should allow me to do so. Then in terms of the market, in Zimbabwe, I don't know of other nations. In Zimbabwe, the arena is actually bombarded by middlemen. So much of the profit then ends up with the middlemen, other than from me, the farmer, benefiting from that. So I'll then envision a system whereby there's an interface between me directly as the farmer with the client who is interested in my product, such that they know exactly what they are expecting, and I communicate directly with the end user, and there are security features in between to protect myself and also the client. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Middlemen are a huge problem in Zimbabwe. They go into the rural areas and they buy produce from farmers at really discounted prices, basically rip them off, and then obviously go into the markets and sell them at higher prices. And the farmer, of course, needs the money, and that's the problem. It's sort of an economical problem. They come and give them cash, which is a bit of an issue. Oh, thank you. Sophia, we've only got a few minutes left, 5 minutes left, unfortunately. But, before I move to Sophia, also we talked about this before with Tony and you as well, and all of you, in terms of farmers not owning their land. In Zimbabwe, farmers do not own land. The government owns every acre that you can think of. What the farmers can own is the improvements on the land. Now imagine that now when you go to a bank to try and get finance, when you try and get anything, because you literally own nothing. Okay, so which is why I like Tony's concepts of using that data to generate money, banks lending money based on your production schedules and your cash flows. I like that very much. Sophia, we've only got a few minutes left, so I don't want to rush you, but you are around for the rest of the 3 days, so I'm sure people will ask you questions. Similar question, what would you say? What would you like changed if you talk to policymakers and so forth?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think I jotted a few points while you were asking. So I'm looking at data democracy. So, and yes, when they call farmers to urban centers for programs, you are giving consent forms to fill, but it's different when we go down rural communities to collect data from farmers. I'm hoping that in time to come we can also implement this with them and also give them that access, that there should be a feedback loop that, all the data we collected, after interpreting it, regardless of whatever it looks like, the farmer should also have a preview to what it looks like. We can use it to do a project for you, or we cannot. And I'm also looking at the aspect where I think that there's been a very beautiful growth in the sector in terms of integrating technology to data collection. But can we now shift from investing in technology to now investing in projects that are farmer-centered, where you are collecting this data? Now we've built technology so strong that you can collect data even without network offline. But the agents that are working with these farmers to collect the data, I think we now have to start building their capacity from cost-centered alignment to service-based ecosystems, where they are bringing more value for the farmer. They are able to build trust, because over time, the opportunity of collecting data from farmers has been bastardized by some people that they just go exploit them, collect data, and now collecting data, like not just collecting information from them, but genuine information. Some of them are not willing to give that out again. So even after collecting information, you analyze them, but you can see the dots are not dotting. Yeah, because they now have some reservations. You've been collecting this data and you don't come back to me. But of course, the farmer still knows the genuine organizations that come to collect, but there are so many other chaps within the system. So if I feel like these 2 points, if it can be implemented, it will improve.
I tell you, we could talk all day, couldn't we? This is the important people here, isn't it? So we could go on. Tony, you have the last word, last but not least, as they say, just very quickly. Unfortunately, we have a couple of minutes.
Thank you. Many times interventions are designed for farmers without their involvement. So when farmers don't see a clear value proposition, the adoption for such interventions is very low. However, when we link the value that farmers can get from these digital systems, I think they will be more appropriate and useful for farmers. So I think policymakers should always consider what the farmers want from these systems. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, voices from the field. A really big round of applause. I'd like to thank all our farmers and my guests today. I'd like to thank, Martha Piri. Thank you, Martha, from Zambia. I really appreciate that. Please, you can clap while they're going. Dadarai Mabaya, thank you so much. Let me help you down. We've got Safia Ahmed from Nigeria. And Tony, are you okay there? And of course, last but not least, Tony Mugoya from Uganda. Thank you so much. Oh, we're down here. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was fantastic. I think I picked up a lot from that, and I think if you have further conversations with the farmers, you'll hear some of the other deeper issues that we didn't have a chance to cover. That's why I said we could have talked for another hour easily, but such is life. Carolyn, I hand over to you. Networking?
This is just me making the transition. You're going to the break. You're going to have half an hour break. And as we're saying, one of the success of this conference is how you're going to connect and talk together. Just wanted to show that slide because majority of you are scientists, and there are people that are doing some science about networking. And so the graph you're seeing on the map is a traditional network when you let people talk together, and what you observe if you have silos. You put a lot of people in the same room or same space, they're gonna start talking to the people that look like them, share the same ideas, same age, same continent, same, and then we have those silos. So really the invitation is for you to go and talk to the people that will bring new perspective to your own world, and in order not to have that picture at the end of those 3 days. So that's really the invitation. We can just go to the next slide. So we'll have lots of opportunity to network. We've tried to have long break, long lunch. Let's see how we keep up with time. So you're gonna have half an hour now. We have lunch 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. So please connect there. Tonight we're gonna be on the boat. It's also a networking event, but we'll try to end days at 5 so that you have time to make appointments. So in order to help you do that, you'll see outside, maybe you've seen already, we have some walls. There is one that is a networking wall. We've got those stickers. You see the stickers on the slide. And what we're inviting you to do is to leave your name, your organization, and your contacts. And you'll see on the board, you can write the topics that you're interested to discuss about. We've put some just as a proposition. If you have others, please do so. And if you feel like this is a topic you'd like to talk about, then you can stick your name there. And again, up to you to share with WhatsApp or via email to be able to find each other or to just recognize who you are. But please, please take that opportunity also for the informal conversation. They will nurture the formal conversation as well. I think, and yes, there is another wall you'll see which is called the resource wall, because I'm sure you all have interesting either articles or tools, and you're going to share and discuss with some of you. But if you put that on that wall, that's an opportunity to take a picture and to make sure those useful resources could be accessed by everyone. So use that opportunity to put things there. Do I have a last slide? I forgot. And if you're shy and you don't know what to talk about when you're going on the break, this is a proposition. You can, as we've been talking about, who are we serving? You could have this prompt for a conversation. Who are you serving in your work and how? So that's the invitation. Enjoy the break. We start at 11:20. See you. Thank you.
The tea is outside, as you know, at the corridor there. So please, 11:20 we'll be kicking off. Thank you. See you then. Great morning. Thanks, guys.